The reason people get osteoporosis is there's not enough stress on their skeletal system. That's why they're finding that they have to increase the amount of stress. That's why the adjustments are so effective in helping cure osteoporosis. Why do you think they have people lift weights? But it's also the same type of thing as to why a person wears out a hip joint, or wears out a knee joint, or wears out a shoulder joint, and has to have surgery, because if the stresses are not placed in the right spot, then we have a problem. So the bottom line is that total health is minimizing bad stresses and increasing the body's health potential, okay, to maintain optimal function. So the real key thing is function. See, your body was designed right. Your body was designed right so you can have optimum function. But when you start to lose function, whether it's in the joints, whether it's in the muscles, whether it's in the discs, or whether it's in the organs, your body's health potential drops, okay? So the key to minimizing stress and maximizing your health potential is basically to adopt this wellness philosophy of healthcare. But how many people really understand what wellness is? Do you understand what wellness is? Tell me what wellness is. Have you heard of wellness?
Oh, yeah.
We're in a paradigm. You know what a paradigm is? It's a belief system. It's like holistic healthcare. Years ago, they used to talk about holistic healthcare. How many people talk about holistic healthcare right now? They don't even know what holistic healthcare is. Now it's wellness. But what is wellness? Check this out. Wellness, okay, if we define wellness, here's what we have to understand. Wellness is basically maintaining certain actions to prevent your illnesses and injury. Would you agree with that? See, wellness is not a state, it's more of a lifestyle. And if you're going to do certain action steps, like for instance, exercising, eating right, doing those things, you're taking certain actions to prevent illnesses and to prevent injury. You're not smoking, you're not drinking too much, you're not doing all these excessive bad things for your body, because when you do, you are not maintaining the proper actions for optimum health potential. So what we have to understand is that wellness is really maintaining. Okay, it's a sign of maintenance. And when I go through this, maintenance is the most important thing that you could do for anything, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your relationship with your husband, wife, or kids, whether it's with anything, because there's a certain principle that we have to look at. It's called the MPC principle. The MPC principle, simply stated, says if something requires maintenance and you neglect it, you will develop a problem in that thing until finally enough problem goes on until you hit a crisis. Here's the thing that you got to realize, folks, because I oftentimes go in and I say, hey, listen, bring your wife in, or bring your son in, or bring your... Oh, they don't have any problems. What you're really telling me is they don't have any symptoms. Symptoms happen in the crisis stage. Symptoms do not happen in the problem stage. Problems always run silently. You don't know if you have cancer, you don't know if you have heart disease, you don't know if you have arthritis. How many times have I put your x-rays up and I said, you have arthritis and degeneration in your spine? And you don't even feel it. You will, because the way the process works is this. As the problem is going on, it's going on silently. People who smoke cigarettes, people who have cancers, heart disease, cavities, you don't feel disease building inside your body. You never do. Why do you think that they're trying to develop more and more scans to take a look at your body and say, well, maybe we can discover it before it gets too bad into crisis, where it's irreparable? You don't know if you've got a back problem. You don't know if you've got a cavity in your teeth, because when you go to the dentist, what is the dentist checking you for? A cavity. Well, if cavities hurt, you know you had a cavity and you go when you hurt. That's the biggest problem in healthcare. What you have to realize is that wellness has got to be maintaining certain actions for health to prevent illnesses and injuries. And the same thing happens in business, the same thing happens at home, the same thing happens. It's a maintenance process. You don't go into a marriage and all of a sudden don't maintain. It was great when the courtship was going on, but then after you're married for a few years, the maintenance stops, and then guess what happens? The problems start silently, and you end up in crisis. It's a formula that worked for everything in life. So it's something you got to understand. But in healthcare, we have to understand that when you came in, if you had a crisis situation, that means you already had a symptom. Does that mean that you don't have a problem? If I discover a problem, and how many times have you gone into or heard stories about somebody who went into a doctor's office and all of a sudden they discovered they had cancer? It's like, well, what do you mean, I have cancer? I feel great. It has nothing to do with how you feel. Your health has nothing to do with how you feel. Get that in your head. Because we are living in a world of healthcare which is discombobulated. It's all mixed up, because what they have taught you is that when you feel good, you're healthy. When you're not feeling good, there's something wrong and you're sick. That's not true, because you can have cancers, you can have heart disease, you can have all these different types of disease problems going on, including spinal problems, and not even know you got them. But does that mean that a week, a month, or several years down the road it's not going to hit you? The problems are always silent. So that's the first most important thing we have to talk about. So if maintenance, if health and wellness is about maintaining certain actions, what actions do we have to maintain? Well, the first thing I want to ask you is this. There's 4 essentials to health. If you want to maintain certain things, if you're going to say, well, Dr. Nicola, what actions should I maintain then